What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin back on the show. Great to have you back on, Dustin.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me, man. This is part two of us being back together on here, man.
Yeah, we did our draft grades episode. That was a lot of fun. And I know it's mid-May and the season's far away, but I just want to talk some football. And we've got pretty far into the offseason so far where we've gone through free agency, the draft, and so we see these teams starting to come together. There's still some moves that are going to be made, but they've made enough moves to this point that we can kind of look at these offseason moves and kind of get a understanding of what these teams are going to look like going into next season. So this is going to be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, bro, for sure. And I mean, this division in particular is going to be very interesting because the Jets hit it, in my opinion, pretty big in the draft. The Dolphins are starting with a new head coach and a new quarterback.
Yep.
So you have to look and see if the Patriots were a one hit wonder or if they're still for real.
Absolutely. So yeah, like you said, we're gonna preview AFC East, look at their 2026 offseason changes. And yeah, let's start with the New England Patriots. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl last year. In Mike Vrabel's first year as head coach, they lost in the Super Bowl to the Seahawks in a blowout, but still a pretty good season for New England. The offseason coaching staff, GM, was about the same. They did trade their center Garrett Bradbury to the Bears. They released Stephon Diggs, their wide receiver, their number one wide receiver. But they are expected to trade for AJ Brown June 1st. And I think that's the big thing hanging over this Patriots team this offseason is everyone's waiting for them to get AJ Brown. I think the way this team looking at it right now, they look like they're, still a contender expected to win the division. They did sign wide receiver Romeo Dobbs, big head Romeo Dobbs. Do you like that ad?
Oh, absolutely. I think Romeo played well when he was in Green Bay. So, I mean, that's a weapon that could be used very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's underrated. And I think he'll fit in very nicely with this team. They need wide receiver help. Like I said, they lost Stephon Diggs. So you got Romeo Dobbs with Kayshon Boutte and Matt Collins, Pop Douglas. But yeah, AJ Brown is the big piece. And what do you think about AJ Brown? Because he was kind of a locker room issue a little bit in Philly. Him and Jalen Hurts didn't get along super well. You saw him like reading a book on the sideline or kind of, pouting or being a distraction. Do you think he'll be able to come into New England and buy in and be a great teammate?
Yeah, bro. I also think for the simple fact that I think he's gonna respect Mike Vrabel, and
Yes.
because Mike Vrabel is a very good coach. He's not old and he's not young, but he can very well relate. And I mean, he's very respected in the pro ranks. So I think I think AJ Brown is gonna the amount of respect he's gonna have for Vrabel is gonna be, is gonna change the way he is in the locker room.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Vrabel. He seems like a winner to me. Remember, he took Ryan Tannehill and the Titans to the AFC Championship game. He took the Patriots to the Super Bowl in his first year. He just seems like a player-friendly coach, you know?
For sure, bro. Um,
So,
Not
yeah.
only that, but like he's again, it's about being respected around the league and everything too. In my opinion, a lot of guys want to play for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, 100%. So I expect the Patriots to be right back in the hunt. And I think AJ Brown, along with Romeo Dobbs, can really, I think they'll be even better than last year, honestly. They signed Elijah Vera Tucker, a starting guard from the Jets. They bring in fullback Reggie Gilliam from the Bills. Tight end Julian Hill linebacker, pass rusher Draymond Jones from the Ravens. They got safety Kevin Byard from my Bears, and Kevin Byard led the league in interceptions last year with 7. So you plug him into that secondary in New England to go with Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis. That secondary is going to be nasty.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they're gonna be a really good team, and I think they're gonna be, competing against the Bills for the best team in the AFC East.
Yeah, what did you think of so let me pull this back up here. So they drafted Caleb Lomu in the first round. What what do you think? What do you make of that pick, especially considering how Will Campbell looked in the Super Bowl? I mean, he was pretty much a liability at left tackle. I know he was playing through injury, but he was getting smoked in that Super Bowl, remember?
Yeah, and I mean they went and obviously this kind of shows that they might not have too much faith in Will Campbell. So they went out and got an offensive tackle who is a pretty decent player. I think he's gonna hold up well.
Yeah, they got some versatility because, I mean, Will Campbell, his big thing is short arms or whatever. You could potentially move him inside to guard. Caleb Lomu can also play. He's versatile. He can play left tackle, right tackle. He can play guard. So, yeah, I think they're trying to figure out the offensive line. That's for sure. I like what they're doing there. So you see, they lost Caleb on Chason, Kyrus Tonga, Austin Hooper, Trent Sherfield to the Bills. But nothing major in their losses besides Stephon Diggs, right? Who surprisingly, Stephon Diggs is still available. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, doesn't he? I mean, I'm not for sure, but doesn't he have kind of depends on where he's at, like a locker room issue somewhat?
Yeah, you likely want him to be on a contender with an established, respected head coach, like that was in New England. If he's in the wrong situation, it might not go right. He wasn't a great fit with the Texans. He can be an issue, yeah.
But I mean, but if you can, whoever gets him, if you get the full potential out of him, you're getting a Pro Bowl wide receiver.
Yeah, 100%. He can add value. He would be great for a contender for sure. That needs like one more piece.
Eli Raridan, keep an eye on that name. I'm not comparing him to anybody. I'm not comparing him to Gronk, but he is 6'7" and very long and quick. So he has a Gronkowski body.
Yeah, he's a big body, he's athletic, and he can make some good catches in traffic too. So I agree with you. I think he's a good pick, a good value pick in the third round. You saw him up close and personal with Notre Dame, so you would know, you know. And Notre Dame's they're famous for their tight ends.
Shout out to Mike Denbrock.
Hell yeah. Do you know much about Gabe Akis out of Illinois? I like him a lot too.
I watched him play a little bit, but to be honest, coming from the system of Brett Bielema, I'm,
Uh-huh.
I'm, I think he's going to be good because the past guys that Brett Bielema has brought into the league, J.J. Watt,
Yep. Guys like
so
that. Yeah.
yes.
And he doesn't have to start right away. He can be a rotational piece with Harold Landry and Draymond Jones. So,
Oh, that's a
yeah.
that's a nasty edge right there.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. And then you got Milton Williams and Christian Barmore inside. So I like what the Patriots are doing. We already talked about their secondary is loaded. Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, Kevin Byard at safety. Just looking through this, and then their running backs, they drafted Jam Miller in the seventh round, but they've got Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson. How do you see this Patriots team going forward, going into 2026? Are they the favorites, in your opinion, to repeat as division champs, or do you see
I'm gonna
Buffalo coming on?
I see Buffalo coming on, and we'll get to that as soon as we get to the Bills, and I'll explain my reasoning. My thing with this was I like Drake May as a quarterback,
Uh-huh.
but I, I I personally want him to prove to me that he did not catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I agree with that. We want to see it, keep doing it, right? Keep building on that success, uh, consistency, right? But I think if you add AJ Brown along with Romeo Dobbs, I think that wide receiver room is not only improved, but improved in a major way. I mean, AJ Brown is one of the best receivers in the game still. And Romeo Dobbs, if Dobbs is your number two, that's a hell of a receiving core. Drake May would love that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then earlier you had the running back room. Um,
Yeah.
Low key, Alex, I think another year with Travion Henderson is going to be great for New England.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another second year for him. He's a speedster, man. He can break off touchdown runs, 60, 70 yarders.
Man, I'll tell you what, when he was at Ohio State, he was special.
Yeah, 100%. So I agree with you. I like what the Patriots are doing. I am going to, so to me, it basically boils down to A.J. Brown, if they get him or not. I think without A.J. Brown, I still have them winning this division, but it's a lot closer. I think if they get A.J. Brown, they are the favorites not only in this division, but in the entire AFC to get back to the Super Bowl. That's how highly I think of this team.
Yeah, for sure, man. But again, I will give you my reasoning as soon as we get to the Bills here. I
Okay.
don't want to completely spoil it right now.
No, let's go to the Bills right now. Lastly, I'll say my prediction right as of right now for the Patriots is 10 to 12 wins, battling for first place in the AFC East, and yeah, everything's hanging on that AJ Brown
You
situation.
you think 10 wins the AFC East?
Not necessarily. I think 11 to 12 can, yes.
Okay,
10
okay.
probably not. I always give like a win range, 10 to 12. But yeah, they need to win at least 11 to 12 to win the division. I agree. So let's go to the Buffalo Bills and let me start off. Well, tell me what you think. So they fired Sean McDermott after the playoff loss. And I disagreed with that move, Dustin. I thought that was, while Sean McDermott isn't the perfect coach, I thought there was a lot other issues on the team than the head coach. And I think like they fired Sean McDermott without having a backup plan in place. Like I get it. If you want to fire the coach and put all these playoff losses on him, that's fine. But you better have an upgrade waiting to bring in, not a downgrade. And I just don't see a rookie head coach. Joe Brady has never been a head coach before in his life. I don't see him being an upgrade. What do you think?
Okay, so I agree with you 100% of the firing of Coach McDermott. Um, I personally, I think he's been doing just enough. I mean, the Bills have been to AFC Championship games.
Yep.
They've they've competed with, Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, Mahomes is so special that it's hard to get past the guy.
Well,
And
and it's not just Mahomes though too. It's Joe Burrow. They lost to Joe
yeah,
Burrow at home. They should have beat the Broncos last year and came up short in Denver. So, yeah, I mean, to that point, yeah.
they've had to go through some tough competition, but at the same time, as much as I love Josh Allen, man, he's got to pick it up more. I mean, he makes some mistakes in the big games that kind of costed, the Buffalo Bills, particularly this past season, some turnovers that were pretty bad, Alex.
Yeah, I think he was trying to do too much. I think he feels the pressure. And I think it's also because there's so much on his shoulders on that team. I think the roster could be better. And that's why I love the decision to trade with the Chicago Bears for wide receiver DJ Moore this offseason. I mean, tell me what you think, but that's an immediate upgrade. That's a true
Yeah,
number one wide receiver that this team has been lacking since Stephon Diggs, right?
yes, absolutely. And they haven't had that premier wide receiver since Diggs or even
Amari
what's his
Cooper potentially, or yeah, they really
yeah.
haven't had anything. A true number one.
You know what I do like though? I do like the hire of Jim Leonard. Um,
Yes,
I think
I
with
agree.
his past, he's a really good defensive coordinator. I mean, he spent a lot of time at Wisconsin.
Yes, he's an excellent defensive coordinator. He's bringing a new scheme, and I think I like a lot of the talent on the Bills defense. They've underachieved in the past couple years, and I think hopefully a guy like Jim Leonard can provide a spark. You know what I mean? And uh, get that defense performing better.
So, what is it that you don't like about Joe Brady? Because let me say this, bro. He's been a hot commodity for a long time.
He's an he's an excellent offensive coordinator. He was great at LSU. He's an excellent NFL offensive coordinator. But you know me, I'm very critical of head coaching hires. And I don't like so Josh Allen is in his prime, right? He's one game away from getting to the Super Bowl. He's been so close so many times. Now is not the time to hire a rookie head coach. And I'll tell you, I know exactly who the Bills should have hired. You're in the AFC East. You're looking for an upgraded head coach. Why not bring in a
Oh,
coach that's got rings for days?
Harbaugh.
Nope, close, close. Well,
Oh,
John Harbaugh would have been great, but they hired Joe Brady before John Harbaugh was even available. You know who I
Bill
want to?
Belichick.
Bill fucking Belichick. You want to get you want to get the most out of Josh Allen? Hire Bill Belichick. And
Okay,
and imagine the rivalry in the AFC East with Belichick coaching the Bills against Vrabel and the Patriots. That would have been awesome.
no, absolutely. And if you would have hired Belichick, I think Joe Brady would have been a fire hire as an offensive coordinator by Belichick.
Absolutely. Yeah, keep Joe Brady. You could even bring in Jim Leonard. You could keep that staff and still have Bill Belichick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but would Bill have been willing to leave North Carolina? That's the question.
I think so. I think Belichick is waiting for the right opportunity to get back in the NFL, and he's not going to come back for just any team. He wants to come back for a team that he believes can win championships. And the Bills would have been the perfect fit, right?
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, the Bills are they're getting closer to the middle of Josh Allen's career of him being older, and
Exactly.
you don't want to ruin that opportunity. I mean, they got maybe a 6 year gap before the prime's over with, so I would say you're probably right.
Yeah, and he plays a physical style of football. He takes a lot of hits. He runs a lot, you know. So
But
I'm
no,
just saying you want to maximize his potential immediately. You don't want to play any waiting games with Josh Allen. And I just disagree with the Joe Brady hire. We'll see. Maybe Joe Brady will prove me wrong. You know, maybe he'll lead the Bills to the Super Bowl in year one, and I'll have to shut up and say I was wrong. But as of right now, I don't like the hire, you know? So we'll see if I'm right or wrong.
I mean, he he's come from a good tree. Like, he was with Sean Payton and Matt Rule and
Yeah.
guys like that. And to be honest, if you are going to be a rookie head coach, you want that superstar quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I can't blame Joe Brady. I mean, Brady has got to be ecstatic. His first opportunity as head coach, and you got a superstar like Josh Allen. Now you got DJ Moore, you got James Cook. Like you got a loaded roster.
Do you think McDermott was the scapegoat, or what do you think really happened in Buffalo?
Yeah, I think he was the scapegoat. The owner wanted to blame somebody. These all these playoff losses really hurt. Especially when you got a guy like Josh Allen, you believe that you should be in the Super Bowl every year. And so when you're constantly losing, in big playoff games, that's going to hurt. That's going to sting. And it just got to a boiling point where the owner said, I got to change something drastically. And I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm okay with making a change, but you got to have a backup plan that's an upgrade. Whether that's Sean Payton, John Harbaugh, somebody, Sean McVay, Bill Belichick, somebody that's going to provide a spark. And I'm just not sure that Joe Brady does that, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely could do that, but I'd say let's sit back and see what Joe Brady can do because my gut's telling me I think he's going to be a decent NFL head coach.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. And time will tell. They also traded for corner Teron Johnson from the Raiders, so that's a nice ad. They signed Trent Sherfield in free agency for wide receiver depth. They bring in pass rushers Bradley Chubb and Mike Dana from the Chiefs. I know you got to like those two ads.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bradley Chubb to me is still a decent player. I mean, he's not a superstar, but he can get the job done.
Yeah, 100%. Um, let's see here. They also add D. Alford, the corner. So they signed or they trade for Teron Johnson. They signed D. Alford. They also signed C.J. Gardner Johnson and Geno
I
Stone, two
I love
safeties.
that pickup.
Yeah, and you've already got Cole Bishop, who's a hell of a safety. You got Damar Hamlin off the bench, David Igbinosun in the second. I mean, they did a good job this offseason.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I want to go back to the Joe Brady thing for 1 second. So
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I get it. He's a rookie head coach and everything, but and to the McDermott thing, the league now is actually these owners want to win, and if you can't get the job done, they're going to let you go, especially with a superstar quarterback. Because they did the same thing with who we thought would never be fired, and John Harbaugh with the Ravens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're seeing less and less patience from these owners. They want to win now, but it's just like, man, if it were me and I wanted to win now, I'd go get who's the guy with the most rings, right? Go get the guy
Yeah,
with the most rings. And he developed a lot of people think of Bill Belichick as a defensive guy. He developed Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a sixth round draft pick when he took over, and Bill Belichick won those first couple of Super Bowls with defense first before Brady developed. So
I said, think about this. You're talking about him developing Brady. Brady was an average quarterback at best at Michigan.
yeah,
Like
he was out of shape. Yeah.
I I get your point, but I mean, at the same time, Joe Brady better consider himself lucky that he has the opportunity to have a superstar quarterback and just go with it.
Oh yeah. No one's gonna turn down a head coaching opportunity. So I don't fault Joe Brady at all. He's in a great situation. But that being said, I got the Bills finishing second in the AFC East. So once again, they'll be playing road playoff games, which is not what you want if you're trying to go to the Super Bowl. Um, I think New England wins the division. I think the Bills finish second. I don't think it's going to be it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to those head-to-head games between the Bills and the Patriots. I got the Bills winning 10 to 12 games, battling for first place, but I could see the Bills winning 10 or 11, and I can see the Patriots winning 11 or 12 or maybe even 13. So I think it's going to be like one game that decides this division, you know?
Yeah, sounds like you're close to giving up on the Bills, huh? Because me, in my opinion, I think they win the AFC East. I
Okay.
think I think this is a fresh start for Josh Allen. I think he has somebody who has actually, for a head coach, who's had a superstar quarterback. Because if you look at it, 2019 LSU, he had Joe Burrow, and that was Joe
Yeah.
Burrow's first really official start.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
go ahead.
get it. I get what you're saying. Another thing that bothered me about the Bills last season was just some uncharacteristic losses. Some losses that they shouldn't have lost against the Falcons. They lost to the Falcons 24 to 14 in week 6. They lost to the Dolphins 30 to 13 in week 10. Um, just these unexplained losses in the middle of the season that can in a battle for a division can end up, you getting a wild card instead of a home playoff game, you know? All right, let's go to the New York Jets. And this is where it's a big separation between the top two teams in this division and the bottom two teams. And the Jets and the Dolphins are in rebuild mode. And I love what the Jets did this offseason. Um, they bring in Frank Reich as offensive coordinator to help get some more out of the offense. They trade for quarterback Geno Smith. And tell me what you think. I think Geno Smith is going to have a much better 2026 with the Jets than he had last year with the Raiders because he's got some real weapons around him with the Jets that he really didn't have with the Raiders, you know?
Yeah, not only that, Alex, but I'm glad that you brought up Frank Reich because he may not have been a great head coach, but he's one hell of an offensive coordinator. And I
Yeah,
think Gino, and I think Gino being able to get with him and him being on the staff is huge.
yeah, and I think if they can stay healthy, their defense is much improved, and their offense too. I mean, you think about it from Geno Smith's perspective, you got Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq, Mason Taylor. That's a lot of weapons and some really good ones too.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And then you trade for Minka Fitzpatrick, so you bring him back. You sign Demario Davis. I like them bringing in some veterans. You know, they've been such a young roster lately, bringing in some veterans that come from winning cultures and know what it's like to be on a winning roster, right? And how about Nashawn Wright from the Bears? I mean, he had a career year last year for a team that had 0 interceptions last year. Nashawn Wright and D'Angelo Pons, that I don't expect this team to have 0 interceptions again. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no, a name that really sticks out though is Demario Davis. That is a very underrated signing right there, Alex.
Yeah, I agree. Veteran and former Jet, right? He's been there before.
Yeah, and but D'Angelo Pons, I'm telling everybody, pay attention. That kid is good. He's a really
Yeah.
good football player.
Yeah, and they got him in the second round too, so good value there. Um, I just like what the Jets are doing, and I hope that they're patient with Aaron Glenn. It's going to take a couple years to build this thing the right way. Again, we got to remember they have 3 first-round picks next year. So they should be able to get their quarterback of the future in next year's draft. I love what they're doing, building out this roster so far this year. And while it might not show in the win column this year, I mean, I got them winning 4 to 6 games. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to show signs of improvement. And when they get their quarterback, going into 2027 is going to be the year to watch. I think they're still in a developmental rebuild mode right now. Do you agree with that, or do you think they can win more this coming year?
No, I agree around the 6 mark. And Alex, Jets fans have to understand that that's a going in the right direction. Like,
Yes, exactly.
and I want to say something though. So looking at this, what bothers me is the fact that they made all these draft picks, but they gave up guard Elijah Vera Tucker and Joe Simpson. Like, why didn't you draft any offensive linemen?
Yeah. Well, they're trusting in the guys that they have drafted in the past years. Olu Fashanu, Armand Membu. They did sign Dylan Parham, but I agree and maybe they address that next year, but they could build up that offensive line a little bit more. I agree with that.
Man, Fashanu's gonna be good, man.
Yeah. Fashanu and Membu are both beasts, both tackle positions. And this offseason, they seem to focus more on the defense with David Bailey, Tavontre Sweat, Demario Davis, Pons, Fitzpatrick. They just seem to be going all in on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you go 17 games without an interception, Alex, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Jets fans, be patient. I know it's tough. You don't want to hear patience. You've been being patient your entire career as a Jets fan, but I think if you stick with Aaron Glenn, you continue to build this roster the right way, I think come 2027, 2028, things are going to be looking a lot more bright as a Jets fan. So just
They
stay the
need
course.
a quarterback, bro, because once Gino gets hurt, this quarterback room is kind of bad.
Yeah, and after I was looking at it today, so you look at Brady Cook, Bailey Zappi. Honestly, fourth round pick Cade Klubnik might be their backup, their number two quarterback very quickly. I don't think Brady Cook or Bailey Zappi is going to hold him back.
Which is okay, but I mean, I do like Bailey Zappi though. I do.
He's okay. He's not a starter though. You know what I mean? And if Geno Smith gets hurt, like you said, they're screwed. So I think all Jets fans are kind of hoping that Arch Manning falls in their lap next year.
I mean, if they get 6 wins, Arch isn't going to fall in their lap. But I'll
Yeah, but
tell you who might. There's a kid that is developing to be a real good quarterback that plays in South Bend, Indiana right now.
DJ Carr.
Yes, sir. Or even Dante Moore.
Yeah, Dante. They were looking at Dante Moore this offseason when he was rumored to be coming out. So yeah, that's a legit possibility.
Darian
And
Mensah. There's a bunch of
yeah,
good guys coming out in this next draft.
absolutely. But they're gonna have competition. There's a lot of teams that are gonna be tanking this year, trying to get their draft picks up for a quarterback. We know it's gonna be a deep quarterback class. And in this same division, the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion, are going to be one of the worst teams in football. Um, they're doing a complete rebuild with new Packers GM, or they come over from Green Bay. New GM John Eric Sullivan, new head coach Jeff Halfley, new quarterback Malik Willis. I'm calling these guys the Miami Pack Fins. You like that nickname?
Yeah, it's funny, but let me say something, man. Jeff Halfley, Alex, is a very underrated hire. Okay, hear me out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff Halfley is one hell of a defensive coordinator, and I think
Yeah.
if you really want to build Miami, build them through the defense, which is it looks like here what they did. They went out and got Josh Uche, David Ajabo,
Yep.
you know,
They got a bunch of
good.
corners.
Yes. Guys who I think
Um,
are going to do great under a Jeff Halfley system.
yeah, and again, you know how critical I am of first-time head coaches. I know Hafley was a good coach in college with Boston College. He's kind of like a 500 record though there at Boston College, and it's a big difference coaching in college compared to the NFL. So we'll see, but it is a rebuild. They're not expected to win in 2026. So there's a developmental period. My issue though is I'm rooting for Malik Willis. I loved him coming out of Liberty. I thought that he could be an excellent NFL quarterback. He showed some really positive signs in Green Bay last year. But man, he doesn't have much around him in Miami this year. It's going to be very difficult for him to be successful with such a weak offensive roster, you know?
Yeah, and not to mention Bobby Slowick, Alex, is actually a pretty good hire at OC. I mean, he was with DeMarco, or I mean, excuse me, Danico Ryans in Houston.
Yeah, with the Texans, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm just looking at, so I love Devon Achan, but I'm looking at their wide receivers and I'm just kind of like, so who's the starter going to be? You get Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell. Tolbert is probably the best one, and he's a number two, number three,
yeah, I agree. I mean,
you know?
I think they should. Well, I mean, they went out and drafted like I told you. I think the Kevin Coleman kid is gonna step up big, and Chris Bell.
Okay.
I get it. He's coming. I get it. He's coming off of an ACL, but he was pretty good at Louisville
He's got some
also.
potential, though. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good receiver. I think Caleb Douglas could be pretty good as well, but
And you're
we'll
100%
see.
sleeping on Tutu, Alex.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm sleeping on Tutu. I mean, yeah, he's a wide receiver four in my opinion.
Wow, I think he played well and came up big in some games for LA though, man. He's so
Well,
fast with the
that's
ball in his
fine.
hand.
That's great when you got Puka and Devontae. You know, those guys are
Yeah.
catching all the double teams. He, look. If Tutu's my number one wide receiver, or even my number two, I bring in the punter. We're playing the field position game.
So do you think with them signing Malik to a 3-year deal, and if they do finish as one of the worst teams, are they are they considering Malik the future, or are they almost damn near 100% shooting for Arch Manning?
I think that so I think they like Malik. They're going to give him the starting opportunity and see what he can do. But they're also going to draft somebody next year, and and then have them compete. If Malik beats the rookie and keeps his job, awesome, we'll keep him. If the rookie beats Malik, the rookie's our guy, and Malik will get another opportunity elsewhere. But they're not exactly setting Malik up for success here in year one. That's my issue.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially nothing against Willis because I actually think he's a talented quarterback. I really do. He
Yeah.
has a big arm and can move a little bit. I mean, from when I seen him play coming in for Jordan Love, I thought he played decent at times.
Oh
And
yeah. I
but
I was I was messaging Amanda and John Abraham. I was calling them Malik Vick.
yeah, and he's
But
he's a bigger quarterback, isn't he?
yeah, and he's got wheels. He's got a strong arm. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. And I've got a lot invested in Malik Willis. When he was coming out of the draft, I told now Panthers GM Dan Morgan, I said, "You got the Panthers should draft this guy." And I might look stupid down the road, but I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of Malik Willis. The things he was doing in college was incredible. And he looked, like you said, he looked pretty good last year for Green Bay. So I'm rooting for the kid.
Yeah, I mean, me too, because I he was a dog in college,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just think he has the tools. He just needs to be under the right person. And I think Bobby Slowick is the guy because he brought out the potential in C, CJ Stroud, and Stroud actually had his one of his best years the year Bobby Slowick was there.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. But I mean, as it stands right now, I mean, give Malik Willis a wide receiver he can work with. Give him a tight end. Hopefully, Will Kesmerick will end up being a guy. As of right now, you know who my number one receiving option would be? I'm getting the ball in Devon Achan's hands every single play, either running or passing.
Yeah, but these very smart defensive coordinators are going to pick up on that.
Oh, exactly. That's why the Dolphins are going 3-14 at best.
3 to 14. Okay,
This
so
team's gonna be awful.
would you have kept Tua, or was that the right move to just go ahead and move on?
It was the right move to move on, but it sucks that you owe him $99 million.
I mean, it
Like
don't suck for Tua.
Atlanta, yeah, it sucks for Miami. It doesn't suck for Tua. Atlanta is paying Tua $1 million. That's it for 2026. The Dolphins are on the hook for 99 mil.
I mean, between both teams, he made $100 million.
Yeah, credit to
I
him,
mean,
but and I think Tua is going to start quite a few games for the Falcons this year as well.
over Penix?
But
Oh, I disagree with that, Alex.
I think he's going to start a few. Penix is coming off an injury, and that's the big thing on Penix. Can he stay healthy?
Yeah, but when he's healthy, I think he's a very talented quarterback.
Yeah. Hopefully he can have some success, get some money, and get that hairline fixed. We all saw those pictures
Oh,
looking,
Jesus.
looking like prime Clyde Drexler. I like the Dolphins draft picks. Caden Proctor, good pick. They're going to start him out at guard. Chris Johnson is immediately their best corner on the roster. I mean, their corners are trash. It's Chris Johnson and Storm Duck. Uh, Amanda was laughing at that name. She couldn't believe that was a real player, Storm Duck. She thought I was cracking jokes. But starting linebacker, starting off-ball linebacker, Trey Moore, Kyle Lewis, potential safety, versatile defensive player. So they got some good young pieces, but I got the Dolphins finishing last place in the AFC East. I got them going anywhere between 2-15 to 5-12 at best, and I'm gonna guess 3-14. And
I agree
I
with
think
them.
Yeah, I
But
think they're incentivized to be as bad as possible. The Dolphins are such a bad roster that they could easily get that number one overall pick if they play their cards right.
yeah, and imagine Arch Manning in Miami.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, what do you think of the AFC East so far at this point? Projecting forward to 2026, you like the way it's going? Do you agree with our assessment? It's kind of like the two top teams and the two bottom teams, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much a two-man race,
Yeah,
and depending on the type of year Josh Allen has, it could be just a one-man race or a one-team race
yeah,
because if Josh Allen is not doing well under Brady, then I think that New England's going to run away with this. If he's doing well under Brady, I think Buffalo runs away with it, to be honest.
yeah. And you brought up some good points. A lot of eyes are going to be on the Patriots because if you remember, they had such an easy schedule last year. This year, it's much more difficult, and there's going to be a lot of focus on them because they won the AFC. They went to the Super Bowl last year. So there's going to be a lot of teams gearing up to beat the Patriots. So they need A.J. Brown, in my opinion. Everyone's waiting to see if A.J. Brown does end up in New England because that's a big domino yet to fall.
Yeah, and my last concern for the Bills was, yeah, last year I think was Josh Allen's moment with the fact that Mahomes was out injured
Yeah.
because
No
he just can't
Mahomes.
seem to get past Patty, man.
Yeah, last year was no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. Last year was the perfect year for Josh Allen and the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. I think that is why they fired the coach. It just stung so badly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So
you have a conference where the top three superstars are out and you still can't make it to the Super Bowl.
yeah, but we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. Doing this though is getting me hyped for the season. I'm ready. I've been telling everyone I'm ready for football to start next week if it would, but we got to wait around for a while.
But yeah, but bro, the way that time is going by so fast, it's already almost June.
That's true. It is going by fast. So, well, good stuff though. This was a fun episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the fans enjoyed it. Um, and we're gonna keep these episodes coming. I mean, I know it's the summer, the season's a months away, but we're gonna keep plugging these episodes out and giving you guys some content and some conversation. Uh, you know, for the upcoming season. And I think it's cool to look at these teams and kind of get a sense of where we're headed going into 2026.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's gonna be a good season, but I also think that there might be a couple surprise teams that are gonna go up and try to grab the brass ring.
Oh yeah, every year we feel like we know what's going to happen every year, and then the season starts and somebody surprises us. So
Because I'll tell you what, starting last season, the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl was not on my bingo card.
no, not at all. And it's going to be cool. The season opener is a Super Bowl rematch, Patriots at Seahawks.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, for the people who listen, defense still wins championships.
Oh yeah, I mean, and how about the Seahawks? Mike McDonald, he was the first defensive play caller to win, head coach to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So I agree with you.
that's cool.
Defense still wins championships. So, well, good shit, bro. I appreciate you taking the time to come back on, and we'll get another one of these episodes. We'll get the AFC North off-season recap to you guys soon. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Are you excited that Dustin's back on the show, bringing his insights? So let us know. Have a great week, guys, and peace out.